Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we're covering the scene ATL. This is season 1, episode 6, and I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Thank you for your support. Please support me today in liking this video. You can also share it, and you can go on and leave your comments. And hit that subscribe button if you are new. Now, let's get into this week's episode. All right, y'all. So we begin with Scotty. Scotty is meeting with his cousin Reggie. They're going to discuss some things in regards to just catch up on life. I've heard Scotty before mention his cousin before. I've never seen him, so this is my first time seeing him. But I know that they're pretty close. I really enjoyed their conversation, but before we get to some other stuff, Scotty just vents or at least expresses what's going on currently. You know, he's going to be having his book launch event, and it's quite stressful. Money, trying to find the right venue, and all that good stuff. He even had a suggestion from his publisher to do this, da-da-da-da-da. It's just a lot on his head right now. And he's a beginner in this, and you could just say it's the growing pains. But look, the birthing of something is not always easy, but the delivery and the actual manifestation is going to be wonderful. So they talk about what's going to be at this venue as far as food, because Reggie was like, you know, all you gotta do is have something small like meatballs, cheese, and crackers. And Scotty said, yeah, we're just gonna have the regular stuff, not all this hors d'oeuvre stuff. He mentioned rotel dip. I said, yes, God. I can't eat it no more, but yeah, we see each other though. Scotty goes back into his background. He lets us know that in his childhood and into his teenage years, he began to write books. His writing came from just coping from the things that were going on in his life. I really do relate to that and understand that. It was a way for me of escapism, and I think he did say that. It was his way of escape. I didn't write books, but I would write stage plays, pre-Tyler Perry. So he mentioned soap operas and stuff. I think he wrote soap operas. I haven't wrote a soap opera or anything, but I got consumed in a lot of different television shows and got obsessed with soap operas. Days of Our Lives is my most favorite soap out of them all. Now, I watched all of them at some point, when whatever was airing at the time of my teenage years into my early 20s. So, yeah, Days of Our Lives is just my piece as far as what soap operas. He says that his writing was stories and also songs and soap operas, which I already mentioned. He would read his stories to Reggie a lot. And of course, it was how they actually bond. It was a way of bonding. He also talks a little bit about what's going to happen at this event, who's on the invitation list, and basically, it's just the people that he knows that is happy for him and wants to support him. And his family on his paternal side, not coming. Some of his friends aren't even coming. He said the fair weather friends. I definitely understand that. He spoke about his paternal grandmother, whom he does not have a relationship with. I do remember him speaking about that on his channel before, and there is no relationship there, and that's due to the grandmother. The grandmother has really treated his mother really bad. So there's no connection there. However, now that she sees Scotty rising and some of the things that he's doing right now, especially with being an author and is about to release his book, now she's trying to latch on and acting like they got this relationship, and she's been a motivation to him, and I know you could do it, I'm proud. And basically, Scotty's like, what are you talking about? I don't know you. You don't know me. So stop faking the funk or whatever social media you on, trying to claim like you really proud of me. What I can say is that I appreciate Scotty because he's able to tell the truth about his family, tell the truth of where he's at. It may not be politically correct. However, look, this is how I feel, this is what's going on, and this is where I am in my life towards these relationships. Because normally you're just supposed to go with the flow, you're supposed to respect your elders and get along with family, you need to fight for family. And basically, just like what's her name? From Soul Food. The oldest one. F the family. After a while, after you've been done so wrong and you're tired of fighting and you're tired of trying, it's time to just say F them and go on about your life. And I understand that. So I appreciate his honesty with that, and I'm proud of him for setting standards and setting boundaries, because they talked about that. And Reggie, they dialogued on that, not just outside of the family, but for different ones. Once you start setting boundaries and standards, you're going to see how people really value you and honor you. Now, of course, there could have been things wrong, but you'll see who will be able to adjust themselves and to get with the program, or have an attitude and act like you're being funny. No, I'm not being funny. I just got different principles now. And we can't operate like this no more. You're used to that type of control and that type of manipulation, and it's not going here no more. Lord, in my, I say mid-20s, my early 30s, all because I decided to make some decisions on my own that did not align with how people wanted to still see me as. It really pissed off a lot of people. It took me a long time to actually be comfortable with that, but it's just like, now, no, whatever. You don't want to be here? Goodbye. You want me to be this way? I'm not going to be it. So we can't be in relationship with each other. So bye, deuces, you know? So yeah. So I'm glad that you're at a place of freedom. You ain't got to compromise yourself for anybody, family and all. All right, so we're going to move on to Carl. Carl's that bulldog. And basically, I can't remember the line. What is the movie? It's the dance movie. Is it the Save the Last Dance? With Julia, the white girl that goes to Juilliard and had the black boyfriend. Well, the ex-girlfriend that said it's time for me to shake up some shit. I think it was that. I think that was her line, but I can't remember the line. If I find the clip, I'm gonna post it here.
Watch me squash this shit.
Yeah. So Carl, who hasn't been around because he's got other things going on, he needed to meet up with Bando because he's caught some teeth and he needs to find out what's up. They catch up a little bit. Of course, Bando lets him know in regards to he's been in jail and all that. Carl's like, look, I understand all that. You know, it's no big deal. So he's not a jailbird this week. Shout out to JT. So anyway, Carl drops this bomb and says, "Are you my man?" I said, Lord, what is going on here? We're talking about the ex, Carl's ex, the one that was at the listening party that Bando was the one to expose his extracurricular activities as far as selling pictures or selling news. That's what the tea was or whatever. So Carl ran into his ex and said that he knows Bando. And it was to the point, it was almost how the ex was painting it, that they knew each other in a way where they were supposed to somewhat, I don't know, hook up, but it was supposed to be something a little bit spicy. So Bando said, I don't really know him. We spoke on in the DMs and Instagram, I think, whatever, blah, 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 but it's nothing. Carl produced receipts that his ex, I think his name was James, produced. And then Bando said, well, let's look at this whole conversation. And Carl is more apt to believe Bando because obviously someone is just telling their portion or just a little bit of everything. I said, I'm glad that didn't turn into anything really bad or could have got worse. I'm glad. So I'm glad that Carl didn't believe him, especially at how it seems like everybody wants to make Bando the villain in everything. And just think he is. Now people calling you Creepy Carl on Chasing Atlanta, but it's just like Bando's creepy, and he's just in everybody's bed, just doing everything. He's just a freak in the sheets to everybody. It's just like, Lord, can y'all let this man live a little bit, or at least come with something of receipts, and stop making up stuff. But anyways, that's over. Next, DJ and JT, they meet up, and I'm making this announcement right now. I do owe JT an apology. Because I really didn't give her a chance to really tell her story. Anyways, DJ meets up with JT. He starts cracking jokes because what's going on with the internet, what we found out on last week, which I didn't really have a clear picture until this week as to what was happening. JT's roommate was doing stuff online, went to the blogs. There was a heated confrontation between JT and his roommate, whom we find out his name is Nice Time. how JT describes it is this dude basically went on a Andy Cohen rant, allegedly, and broke the door down, or broke the hinges off the door of the room. Apparently it has something to do with the thermostat as far as, and other things, but at least the thermostat situation was an issue. But somehow the police were called, and I think he went to jail. As far as we're seeing footage of him actually going to jail, it just got bad. Outside of the jokes, DJ said, are you okay? And I'm really concerned about your safety. Obviously, this was an alarming situation. Even going back to last week's episode, Bando even had compassion for JT, if you remember in their sit down. And I did table that because I just wanted to know more. So yeah, JT, I just didn't give you a chance to really tell your story. I thought that this story was just going to be skipped over because it seemed like in the last episode that y'all were just paying it dust. But obviously, you needed more time to tell your story. And I'm cool with it now. Do I have every detail? No, but I have the gist of what's going on. But anyways, he's online trying to flip it as to some type of situation as to now is JT's fault for whatever happened. And JT's like, how could I do all this stuff? You did this. But whatever happened, I'm glad you're safe, JT. I hate that happened to you. And I apologize for not being patient enough to just let the story ride out on the show. They talk about DeLon. JT wants to just get DJ's take on how DeLon was presenting the story to him in regards to how they had that confrontation. Well, not really a confrontation. They just had words in regards to whom DeLon did invite to his grand opening. And DJ was like, well, I don't really know everything word for word, but it wasn't that bad. And I'm just putting everything in a nutshell. And DJ's response is basically, y'all just need to have a talk. It shouldn't really be bad. It's not really as bad as it seems. JT's point is this. Okay, you talked to DJ about it. We already had words about it, and I thought that we were cool. But you're going to someone whom you don't know. You're just getting to know. And I know that we are better than that. So that's the point, that she just wants to really find out what's going on. Are we good? It's basically, it could have been kept amongst us. Even if you did feel away, how come other people know about it before me? That's the thing. And even after how DJ's trying to just de-escalate the situation, no, JT wasn't mad or hostile, but she has a point that she wants to address. DJ was like, let's just, y'all just have a talk though, and just resolve it and go from there. And of course, DJ just said, look, I'm not changing on what I said weeks ago. I said, bump pussies, and what was it? And let it go. Bump pussies and let it go. Whatever it was.
My answer ain't gonna change. Bump pussies and move on.
Anyways. Okay. DJ's gonna have his own listening party for his release album. What he's doing is something different. He wants people that he's unfamiliar with to listen to his music who would have a different ear. I think that's great. And I think a lot more people have to do that. And you just got to be mindful of who you get. But I don't think that it should be that serious. It shouldn't be that strenuous to get people that love music and is able to tell you the truth, or at least tell their perspective. Because look, music can be interpreted in so many ways. Just because I like the song, that doesn't mean the next person does, or it resonates in a different way to another person. And it's good to just get feedback, a focus group, basically, is what's going on. DJ said, I think that there should be an event. I don't know if it's the same event, but everyone should get together and just kind of hash things out and resolve everything and everybody be happy. I don't think that's going to be resolved, but we're going to see. And for the last scene, which was quite hilarious, I forgot to say this about Cousin Reggie. You have a great speaking voice. I don't know if you do radio or if you have your own podcast. I don't know what you do. I wish you were doing that, because I think people need to hear your voice. Not just your speaking voice, but what you have to say. Anyways, over to Bando. Bando is in the booth. He's on a feature. The song is called Scissors Paper Rock. Carvo, his producer, is there and all that good stuff. Bando gets into the booth and really, I don't like to say killed. Let's just say he lit it up. Yeah, I like his flow anyways. The song I do like is Don't Sweat. But anyways, he was really, his verses, his flow, all that was pretty good. Later on, Delon and Scotty do meet up with him, and they played the song. And it's really good. Carbo was so praising Bando, his producer, because it was just like both whomever the artist is, I forgot his name, and Bando, it was just like they were in the room together and they collabed. Obviously, Bando's quite the professional and is able to adapt and to make things shake within the studio. So it sounds good, and I'm ready to hear it. Hear the whole song. So, Delon is ready to talk about, I ain't gonna say it. Oh, but Delon gave a description of Mr. Nice Time, aka Roach Boy. Delon and Bando and Scotty, they do catch up. Delon was wondering where Bando was for the grand opening. Bando said, I don't know what was going on. Something had to be going on. And Scotty came in before the rescue and said, look, you didn't even respond to my message because I was asking you that day of, and you did not respond if you were coming to the grand opening or not. And it was like a couple days later when you responded. So he had some things going on. Then he also had a gym injury because he didn't come to another event. All that good stuff. I keep saying all that good stuff. All that stuff. Then Bando goes on a rant about DJ. He don't show up anywhere. Always rescheduling, and then even on the reschedule, we got to reschedule again. He don't ever show up and do nothing. Scotty's defending him. And don't be doing that to my friend. And Bando said he's my friend too. So basically, friends just griping at this moment, at this time. So I guess DJ's supposed to even show up to this session as he's recording that song, but he doesn't make it. Now I did see in the live chat, which I was late to, last night, DJ said, look, he has a lot going on from school, doing music and all that stuff. So it's been really tight and all that good stuff. Then they get on Roach Boy, aka Nice Time. Nice Time, this is the same person that was violent towards JT. He was a producer on another production that Delon and JT were on, so they do know each other. And then Bando. Now, I'm gonna say this: I think Bando could be a comic. He could even be a host, a talk show host or something. At least he would do like the messy stuff. Because, sir, why you gonna say? Because he was trying to figure out how does Delon know this person outside of even the production. They would work out. And he's like, work out. So, you was a workout partner? What were you working at? I'm saying you are messy, sir. Trying to insinuate stuff. Don't do that. How can you just be a workout partner? How you go from being a workout partner to him wanting you to bail him out? Lord, quit reading into stuff, Bando. Anyways, this is the second time. What happened was whenever dude went to jail, called Delon to bail him out. And somebody else that Delon mentioned, but whatever. But this is the second time that he has tried to has called Delon to bail him out. And both of those times, no. And I didn't know this, but if you do bail out a person, you could be held liable if that person goes back to jail. I didn't know that. Okay. Then Bando was cracking some more jokes about the dude. He's Nice Time, but he's got jail time. I'm like, sir, what is your problem? As I said in the last week's comments, Bando's a fool, and I love it. Don't change, sir. Don't change. That was it. Of course, this episode wasn't all drama-filled. Everyone's just having a good time. And I think it's cool to just have those chill, relaxed days where y'all just at least forming bonds with each other and able to dialogue. Now, there was something I'm just remembering. DJ was talking about JT's outfit. I'm calling the outfit that JT had on in the scene Mrs. Buttersworth. You can dress up like Mrs. Buttersworth, and I'll be dressing up like the Quaker Oats man. I said, Lord, not a pilgrim, not Thanksgiving. Really, I thought what came to my mind with JT's Gossip Girl / the old movie from the 90s, The Craft, how those girls were dressed. That's what I was thinking about, but whatever. Anyways, it looks like next week things are going to get popping yet again. And I'm ready for it. I do appreciate everyone for coming. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, peace.